What's going on, everybody? Jonathan here. Today we're going to be looking at 4 things that I would tell anybody who's new to the gig economy. And I wanted to make this video because there is a ton of information out there about the gig economy. Literally, you could spend like weeks and weeks and weeks just watching all the videos, reading all the blog articles, soaking up just about everything that you could know about the gig economy. But instead of getting kind of lost in all that information, it's a lot of times easier to just break it down into these simple stuff. So there's 4 big pieces of advice that really I would recommend to anybody, to a friend, to someone that I don't even know that's signing up to deliver, whether that's with like DoorDash, Postmates, Instacart, Amazon Flex, Grubhub, anything gig economy related, this advice applies to you. So I got started in the gig economy about 6 months ago, and I did so after I left my full-time job to start my own business. So the gig economy was very attractive to me because I wanted to be, starting a couple of businesses, and the flexibility that it offered was huge. I wanted to be making some income. I had set aside money before I left my job so that I could kind of float myself for a while, but I hate just working and not getting income. And when you're starting up a business, a lot of times you're not going to be generating money right away. So the gig economy was a great solution for me to kind of generate some of that income, keep busy, and see money coming in while I was starting up this business. The very first delivery app that I started with was DoorDash, and then I quickly got into Amazon Flex. Really enjoyed that, delivering packages and doing some instant offers through them. I then tested out Instacart and Grubhub. I've really enjoyed Grubhub a lot. I also really enjoy Amazon Flex. But there's a couple fundamentals that I keep in mind when I'm delivering so that I make sure that I'm getting the most out of it and not burning myself out. So the first thing to keep in mind is to do it while you enjoy it. The gig economy is a lot of fun. I mean, you're delivering food. It's an easy job. You're helping people out. A lot of times people can be very grateful that you're helping them deliver something. They're not always the nicest people, but more often than not, people are appreciative of your help. And it's nice to kind of do something nice for someone else. So this is a job, this is a gig that I recommend doing while you enjoy it, not getting burnt out, not trying to push yourself beyond full time, taking on too many hours, taking on too many orders. Do it while you enjoy it, and also, have other stuff going on in your life, other hobbies, maybe another job to generate that full-time income. And that way you're not pushing yourself too hard and past your limits and doing something that's no longer enjoyable to you. The second piece of advice is to try multiple apps. The sign-up process is so easy nowadays that it's kind of crazy not to be doing multiple apps, because it literally takes like 15 minutes to apply, and then you just wait a couple of days for all of that process to go through. So most of these apps are using Checkr for background checks. Once you do your first background check through one app, it's automatically going to apply to that next app, and it's going to make that process really seamless going forward. So if you're not testing out multiple apps, you could be leaving money on the table because maybe you heard about DoorDash and it's really good in another area, but it might not be the go-to app in your current area. Maybe Grubhub's better in your area. You're never going to know without testing that, because these apps are so hyper local. Some of them have more demand in some markets, some of them have higher rates in some markets. You really just have to test it out for yourself. And once you've run multiple apps and tested out multiple apps, you can also use a multi-apping strategy to only accept the best orders. I recommend this to everyone. You definitely have to be picky, because as an independent contractor, you're in control of your own wages and being profitable. You're running that business, so you have to have your options open, and you can do so by running multiple apps. You need to be tracking your miles and expenses. So once again, as an independent contractor, you are your own business owner. DoorDash isn't going to guarantee that you're making a certain amount of money. They'll give you your minimum earnings per delivery, but the amount of miles that you drive for that delivery is going to change. So if you're not tracking your mileage and understanding the standard mileage deduction, how much your expenses are per mile, and even more specifically how much your expenses are for the specific car that you're driving, then you don't even know if your business is profitable. You don't know how much you're making, but at the end of the year when you pay taxes, the money that you keep could be significantly less. That's why you need to be constantly tracking your expenses, tracking your mileage, and comparing that with your earnings every month so that you know how much you're making. Last but not least, you need to be picky with which orders you're accepting. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but don't be picking up those long distance orders that are low payout. This is your business. If you're taking long orders just because you want to keep that acceptance rate high, then you might not even be making money. It is possible to not run a profitable business as a delivery driver. That's just the reality of it. If you don't keep your head about it and you don't establish a minimum threshold for price and mileage on every order that you accept, then you run the risk of not being profitable or making significantly less money than you were expecting going into this. Now, those are just the big 4 main tips that I have. There's definitely a lot of other, little stuff that you should get to know if you're just starting out in the gig economy. So if you have more questions and you want more answers, you want a quick kind of tutorial of how to do everything, how to get started, then I've created the Gig Economy Masters class. I'll leave a link down below. And it's really just a quick 30-minute guide, everything that you need to know to maximize your earnings in the gig economy and get started. And you can get it for only 14 bucks. I wanted to make it affordable. Basically, you can make the money back from this in a delivery or 2 when you're getting those higher earnings. So I totally recommend this to everyone who's just getting started. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel for tons of more gig economy updates and other cool app reviews.